Hello, my friends. I'm so excited to be live with you today. This is going to be super fun. We are talking about 20 life lessons that I wish I knew sooner. And we're hanging out, we're having a coffee together. I'm going to share my life lessons with you. And then I thought we would just chat. I want you to share your life lessons with me. And I'm going to answer any questions that you have. But first, we have to get through my life lessons, which I'm excited to talk about because if you didn't know, I struggled with everything the majority of my life. And I have only learned things through the hard way. But I'm excited to share some of the things that I've learned so that you don't have to learn the hard way. Does this make sense? So I've struggled with my weight. I was 250 pounds. I've struggled with debt. I claimed bankruptcy. I was broke. I was working 3 jobs and still broke. I've struggled with my home. No matter what I tried, it looked like an episode of Hoarders. I've struggled in school. I have a criminal record. I've struggled with drug addiction. Like, there isn't one area of adulting or lifing that I've ever been naturally good at. I learned by sucking. And so I'm super excited. Let me know if you can hear and see me okay. And then we're going to jump in to my 20 life lessons. I know some of you probably heard some of these. I'm going to try to go through real quick. And then I can't wait to hear your life lessons. Let's learn from each other. And then I'll answer your questions. I see all of you on here. Hello. I'm so glad to have all my friends. Are you ready to hear? You can hear me. Thank you, my friends. Thank you, my friends. Okay. I promise I'm going to get to all your questions, but let's just jump in with life freaking lessons. Okay. First one, tidy home equals tidy mind. This I know I've talked about before, but listen, is so important. When my house was a wreck, I couldn't focus. I was never motivated. I feel like your home affects every area of your life. And when mine was messy, my life was messy. When I got my home under control, I had the time and the capacity to get my life under control. You guys feel me what I'm saying? But here is the real hard life lesson that you don't want to hear. If you have a home that's like you clean it and it just gets messy again and it's always getting messy and no matter what you do, it's just always in like a little bit of a mild mess. This is what I've learned. You have to let go of 15% of your things in order to have a home that can stay tidy. 15%. And that we're just talking about mild mess. Let's get real. Are you ready for it? If you have a space where every surface has clutter on it most of the time, so your table, dressers, there's always stuff on your surfaces, 30 to 50% have to leave. I know, I hate to say it, but this is the reality because your closets are full, your everything's full. In order to be able to easily put things away and keep a home tidy all the time, that's the number, right? If you have all your flat surfaces that are covered, 30 to 50%. Now, this is the number you don't want to hear, but let's move on. If you're craving a tidy space, but you have entire rooms that are stuffed, or you can't really walk or get to the closets because the floor is piled in front of things, like if you're having trouble walking through a space, or you have entire rooms that are full to the top, hold on to your pants. This is what I've learned. 80% of things have to leave. And that's what I had to do. I had to remove 80% of my stuff because there was no room to put anything. So this is like a guide for you. This is a life lesson of like how much really has to go that I've learned the hard way, friends, to help you get there. Okay, I'm going to answer all your questions, I promise. Let's get through this real quick. Life lesson number 2. Perfection is a big fat stinking friggin' lie. Well, the truth is, okay, good enough is better than great for like 90% of the tasks that we do. My mom always taught me if you want to clean, it's on your hands and knees with a scrub brush, right? And that's so time consuming though. And let's get real, it just gets dirty again. So what I've learned is crappy cleaning. Like, I don't even own a bucket and a mop. I just like spray, well, I have robots that clean for it isn't great. It isn't perfect. Listen, it isn't perfect. But it doesn't matter because doing like your blinds perfectly, taking them down and washing them all, it's a waste of your freaking time. I don't even sort my clothes. Everything goes in cold. Towels go with blue jeans. I know the horror. I don't fold. Who freaking cares? Like, if it's really important to you, do it. But the idea of doing everything perfect is impossible because you will never have enough time in the day. That's the truth. You will never have enough time in the day, and you'll feel like you're getting nothing done because every time you do something, it's taking you 20 minutes, 20 times, longer than it could if you just did it crappy. Does that make sense? Done. Okay. Gratitude. This is a lesson that I really got to work on because I'm always a person who wants the next thing, like chickens. And I want to be beekeeper, and I want to be a firefighter, and I want to like go on vacation, and I became a medical first responder, and I'm like the next cool thing, and I dream big. And that's not a bad thing, but what is a bad thing is if you don't appreciate what you have today, you can feel really sad and get stuck in this like, I need more to feel more. Does that make sense? Like, anyway, so I started practicing writing down the thing I'm grateful for, like literally writing it down, and it changed everything. It rewired my brain so that I start naturally just looking and being like, oh, it's a beautiful day. I'm so lucky. Which kind of leads me into this, which is like self-worth is non-negotiable. Doesn't matter if your house is dirty. It doesn't matter if you need to lose weight. It doesn't matter what. You are perfect and amazing just the way you are. This was a hard lesson I'm still kind of trying to learn. But I got to love myself, all of the messy stuff too. All right. We're blowing through these so fast. Then I'm going to get to all your questions. But this is important. Man, I learned this the hard way. Own it. Don't owe it. And I'm really talking about consumer debt here. I claimed bankruptcy because I owed over $60,000 in consumer debt. And then even after that, I was always broke because when they did give me a credit card back, I would impulsively, like, I can't afford that. I'll pay it back later. But I ended up just constantly paying more in interest than the thing I bought even cost. So I had to say no more. I'm not making other people rich and keeping myself broke with debt. So if I can't afford it, I don't get it, period. I don't use debt anymore. But also pay yourself first. I think I learned this in like a Dave Ramsey book. Every paycheck, 10% automatically transferred to savings. At first, I was like, I don't have the money for that. I'll be broke. And then I just adapted to having 10% less money. And then I forgot I was even saving because ADHD. And then before you know it, I had like 1,000 saved, and then 5,000 saved, and then 10,000 saved. And it's a bonkers, my friends. It's bonkers. Okay. So pay yourself first, 10%. Let's talk about failure though. So many people are afraid to fail. And because I failed at so many things, I've learned failure is actually amazing. It's amazeballs. And this is me chopping wood, okay? I chopped myself in the ankle, cut myself, bruised myself. Most people would probably be like, I'm never chopping wood again because I suck so bad at it. No. You get up and you try again. And now I learned how not to chop myself in the leg. And this is just an example because you learn the best by failing. It is the world's best teacher. Please don't be afraid to suck and fail because honestly, that's how you get amazing at things. Get that protein. This is what I learned doing weight loss and all of that stuff. Everybody, I need to do this better. But if you try to get protein with every meal, it doesn't have to be meat. It doesn't have to be meat, but it keeps you fuller longer and it helps regulate your blood, like your blood sugar. And if you're just trying actively to eat as much, I'm not talking keto, just like adding more protein. Like if you're having apples, have some peanut butter with it, like simple dimple things, broskies. You're going to be healthier and feel better, especially if you're a menopausal woman. Eat some nuts, my loves. Next, I promise I'm going to get to all yours and we're going to hang out and I'm going to answer your questions in 1 second. But like, be your own hero. Nobody coming to save you. This is what I've learned. I got to stop waiting for someone to help and I got to help myself. Don't know how to declutter? No one's coming to do it for you. Figure that crap out, man. You like want to Google how to fix something. You're capable of amazing things. You can learn to build and do all sorts of things. You don't need anybody else, my loves. You are a hero. Also, health is wealth. Man, I'm getting older and my health is my most important thing, more important than money or anything else. So be proactive. Go see your doctor, schedule that freaking mammogram, squish those boobs, get those blood tests. Your doctor says you're fine, but you think you have thyroid. Get a second opinion because doctors aren't always right. Fight for your health. Trust your gut. Get those appointments. Get the camera up your butthole. You need the camera in your booty. Get the camera in your booty, friends. Okay. Camera in the booty. Let's move on. You got the power. What I really mean by this is choosing power over pity. Oh, this is hard. I see you, my loves. I see you. If you do nothing else right now, Linda, you schedule that mammogram. I see you. Schedule that mammogram and schedule that coloscopy. Okay. So I used to be a victim, feel real bad for myself all the time. I have Hashimoto's, so it was hard to lose weight. Poor me, it's not my fault. And I had a really rough childhood and I'm a high school dropout and I have a criminal record and life is hard. But then I realized like I can have pity or I can have power and I can be in charge of my own freaking life. And I choose positive and I choose to feel proud of myself. And also tiny steps is the key. It used to be all or nothing. And I'd be like, I gotta wait until I can do it all perfectly on the weekend or whatever. 5 minutes is the best. You work out for 5 minutes, it's fine. You clean the house for 5 minutes, it's fine. It's better. It's actually better because all these little tiny, like a little here and a little there never feels hard. And also it adds up to getting more done than if you were to just spend an hour straight. It is crazy. No more all or nothing mentality. 5 minutes, tiny steps, consistency is the key. That's a life lesson right there. But this is the best life lesson of all. If you do nothing else besides book a mammogram and a coloscopy, like a camera in the booty, okay? And this one. Goals need ink to grow. Friends, write it down. You want to declutter your house? Do you have it written down that that's your goal? Do you want to organize? Write it down. I use this North Star planner. It's free on my website, but just a scrap piece of paper. Do you want to work out every day? Do you want to, whatever it is, write it down. Write it down. If you don't write it down, it's not going to happen. Goals need ink. They need ink, and then put it somewhere visual to remind you every day that this is your goal subconsciously. I became a firefighter, right? All the things, all the cool stuff is because I wrote it down. Please do that, my friends. Okay. It says which way, but what I mean by this is don't take directions from the lost. Why is it that people who want to give us unsolicited advice are always the people who like don't have their own lives together? Don't take advice from someone who isn't where you want to be. Don't even listen to the people telling you what you should do this and you should do that. And have you tried doing this? If they're not where you want, if you don't want their life, don't take advice from them. No siree, Bob. And it's always the people giving unsolicited advice that don't have their own lives together. It's like, talk to the hand. I just don't listen. I'm not rude about it, but I'm not going to take advice from them. But when I am going to take advice from are people who are where I want to be. Does that make sense? So I listen to a lot of self-help books and I listen to podcasts from people who are like, they've done the work, they've researched, they've spent years and decades learning how to do things. I want to take a shortcut. I want to take the elevator in life. I don't want to have to do everything the hard way. So I look to those people to learn. Does this make sense? Like, you should definitely do that. You should seek out the experts and steal their advice that they're probably giving for free. It makes such a big difference. It really, really does. Podcasts and audiobooks are like my favorite thing, and YouTube videos changed my life. Changed my life. I just shortcutted a bunch of stuff that I didn't have to learn. But I did learn this the hard way. You're not going to like this one, but you got to be really choosy with your inner circle, because my dad used to say, you swim in a sewer, you smell like poo. But you are, this is proven, a combination of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Are they positive? Are they happy? Are they, trying to get the most out of life? Or do they feel sorry for themselves? Are they victims? Do they complain? Are they negative? Do they hate more than they help? Because if you want to be something, you got to be around those kind of people. So join the clubs, make new friends, go to a book club, surround yourself with people who are what you want to be like, because it rubs off on you. It is like some sort of contagious. It's either the stink or the flower smell. It will rub off. It will stick to you. And also, actions have consequences. And I know we all know this, but I mean it even a little bit more than that. I'm going to get to all my favorite audiobooks and podcasts in one second, but listen, this is almost like karma, but like if you're a dick, then not only do you spread dickness around, but it splashes back on you, and then you just like feel crappy. It's a ripple effect. If you're good to other people, if you're positive, if you actively, like someone cuts you off and you don't flip them the bird, you smile, not only will their day be better, but your day will be better too, right? It's like the good spreads, but the bad spread. So be really careful of the dominoes you're dropping. Try, as hard as it is, my friends, to spread kindness. Think of it as, I call it filling my karma tank. When life's kind of going bad for me, I'm like, how can I spread some goodness around, and maybe it'll splash back on me and my life will be better. And it always works out that way. Legit, my friends. Okay. So be your own best friend. Spoil the loving crap out of yourself, because man, it matters. Treat yourself, not just always buying stuff or eating chocolate. That didn't work out so great for me, but like, I don't know, sit in the grass and watch birds. I've been watching birds lately. Like I'm an old lady, but I've been really trying to like love myself and treat myself like a best friend. I have bubble baths at night. I never leave a mess for her tomorrow. Her is me. I wouldn't do that to her. I'm nice to her. I love her, but also being liked is overrated. This is a lesson that I've had to learn, because I'm a people pleaser and I'm a little bit weird. And so I really struggled my whole life. I still struggle. People just generally find me a little bit annoying and too much and aren't loving me. So I spend a lot of time masking and trying to fit in and trying to just like, oh, I'll try to be a normie. I'll try to be so normal. And it was exhausting. And guess what? They saw right through it. Nobody liked me anyways. I couldn't keep it up all the time. And so when I just allowed myself to be weird, I found my tribe. I found people who actually could put up with me. And it's been lovely, but I had to let go of the trying to fit in order to actually fit in. Last but not least, take up space. Don't be afraid of what other people are going to think about you. And don't be afraid to be embarrassed. Take that picture of yourself with your cellulite. Be a leader. If you don't agree with someone's opinion, it's okay to say so. You don't have to be small and quiet and meek. Be loud and proud and take up space and be just like, whoa, bigger. Be bigger. Be big, friends. You don't gotta tighten up and close up. Just be bigger. There. That's it. That's it, my loves. Those are my life lessons that changed my life. And now I want to just have a chat with you. Feel free to share your life lessons. Also, I want to answer any questions that you have. I saw be loud and annoying. Yeah. Silence is deadly. You can think I think we can all be in a low point. Yeah. And that doesn't mean to unfriend. They're still worthy of love as long as they're not taking you down to thoughts. Yeah. I mean, I'm a person who sometimes has low points and my friends are still there. So I'm not meaning like ditch anyone who's not sunshine and rainbows. For sure, be there. But I think you know the people I'm talking about when you surround yourself with people who are always just so pessimistic. And they're always, or people who are just always like really lazy and they're like, man, I don't feel like it and blah, blah, blah. If I'm around people like that, I I tend to just be more like that too. It's really hard to be the only positive go-getter in the room. So, if you actively try to have some people around you who can energize you and not just suck you, I think that's what I mean by that. Green cakey pop. How do you stick with your new passion like decluttering or exercising and keep it going for long term? You can't stick with anything longer than a month. Yeah. Oh God, I feel this. The only way I've been able to stick with something long term is if I turn it into baby dopamine hits. And what I mean by that is I have to do it in such small little chunks and everything has to have like a completion. So I'm like, yeah, I'm proud of myself. Yeah, I'm proud of myself. Yeah, I'm proud of myself. So then I want to keep going. So decluttering is a good example. I if I just declared my whole house, yeah, I could maybe do that for a month, but then I'm like, I don't have hours today or I don't feel like doing it becomes a chore. When something's 5 minutes or less, it's not a chore. It just is like it's like eating chocolate. So I can do a 21 item toss, or I can find 5 things, or I can whatever. So I have to make myself break big goals down into little baby hits that have a finish and train myself to celebrate the progress because then I get addicted to the progress, not to the completion. I'm addicted to the feeling of progress. And that's how you keep going with things. But there's also things that maybe like don't feel great, like don't give you, then don't do those things. That's not like that's not your jam. You know what I mean? That's not your jam. Um, oh, this is a good one. Jamie, how do I go faster? You've been decluttering for years and you're still decluttering. So let's use the marble analogy. That is my new favorite analogy, that your home is a jar and you've been continually putting marbles in it. So you're putting marbles and you're putting marbles and you're putting marbles, but now it's overflowing. And now you're picking up marbles and you're trying to like slowly stack them. And you're like, don't touch it, it's going to fall. But new marbles are always coming because you're buying food and other things, you know? And so you're like, okay, I'm going to declutter a couple marbles. And you take like a couple out and put them here, but you're overflowing and you're still got more. So to go fast, you just dump half the jar out. How do you do that? You rent a dumpster. That's the reality of the situation. You probably have 15 years worth of marbles that got to go. You taking like 3 or 4 out at a time is like the first slide we talked about. 80% of your things, if you have piles on the floors and you can't walk, or you have entire rooms that are full, 80%. And then you can never stop decluttering either because marbles are continuously coming. So then you got to slowly remove marbles every now and then. I declutter, I would say at least once every 2 weeks, like a slight, like a mile, like a little trash bag therapy, like a little 21 item toss. You'll have to do it till the day you die. I hate to break it to you, but that's just, it's like you can't just do your dishes once and then be like, oh, the dishes are done. No, it doesn't work like that, my love bugs. But to go fast, nobody likes to hear that, but it's all about the dumpster. How do you know what percent you've decluttered? So I don't know if there's like a definite amount, but here's an example. So if your closet is full, but then you still have clothes piled on the floor, the odds are that if you were to put all those things on hangers and put them in your closet, it would not fit. And in fact, it's probably like you'd have to let go of 50% of the stuff in your closet now to make room for the stuff on the floor. So if you went from a space where it was full in the storage and you had stuff in front and now it all fits neatly and easily in it, you probably let go of 50%. If you had an entire room you couldn't walk in and now you can, floor space is nuts, right? You probably let go of 80%. So I don't know if there's like a way of really knowing, but Like, it's just if it's not fitting, if it's not fitting in the cabinets in the closet, there's no way of making it fit. Ooh, this is good. Do you ever leave your local area to do decluttering? You've hired a professional before who rearranged your stuff. You need someone to push you to get rid of. I do, but not that often. I do virtual though, where I will meet in a Zoom meeting and then push you. It sounds like you might need like not a professional organizer, but like a clutter coach to come in, someone to give you a little tough love. But also, I think you can do it, my love. I think you should plan a weekend, rent a dumpster, invite people you trust and love who aren't going to judge, and you decide trash, donate trash, donate trash, donate trash. You point, they take, they run, they take stuff to the donation center. You'll be amazed. So I'm not saying you don't need help. I think you do with the running and the moving and the lifting, but I think you're capable. I think you can be your own hero. Right? It's a life lesson. Be your own hero. Be your own hero. Oh, where's Mimi? You came here from watching your presentation at Neurodiversion Conference. Thank you. I did cry. It was embarrassing to cry on stage, but yeah, I think what gets me so emotional, if you haven't watched this, I shared my ADHD story. So when I was a kid, I really struggled with everything, but I really struggled in school. And I was told constantly that I was bad and annoying and impulsive. And what's wrong with you? Be quiet, sit still. Why are you doing that? Don't do that. I was constantly being corrected. But I didn't know it was because I had ADHD. I just thought it was because I was a bad kid. And then I really embraced being a bad kid because, like, I tried and failed anyway. So I might as well give up, kind of thing. And struggled with homelessness, drug addiction, crime, went to prison. And I definitely turned that around, but I think why I get so emotional is because I see other little kids who are being corrected all the time, and my heart breaks for them because they're not doing it on purpose. They can't sit still and be quiet. They can't focus and concentrate. They have a medical condition, and the only thing constantly nagging and correcting is going to do is make them hate themselves. And I think we need, oh, see? I think we need to and it's changing. Oh, it's changing. But I think we as adults need to really understand what's happening and stop that from happening. Because when I walk down the street and I see homeless people, people struggling with drug addiction, when I see like all of this, my brain immediately goes to, I was there and I almost was still there just by luck and miracles. Am I not there? But also, I can almost freaking guarantee all of those people have ADHD or some sort of undiagnosed mental illness. And it didn't have to be like that. It's not like one day you wake up and you're a homeless drug addict. This is dominoes. This is dominoes, bro. So what if we don't flick the first negative domino and instead we focus on the positive and we celebrate? Does that make sense? How did I survive prison and change my life? Oh, so honestly, like I had a really horrible time in prison. I went to a lot of little kids jails when I was younger. Like juvie, they called it, juvenile jail, and that was kind of like and then I was 19 and I was sentenced to a lengthy time in an adult prison. I did not do well there. I was assaulted repeatedly, beat up constantly. They called me princess. It was every day I thought I'd die. It was awful. And I left there like, I will never, I was scared. You hear about scared straight. I was scared straight. I was like, I will never break the law again. I won't even jaywalk. I don't even speed. I am never going back to prison. So I started with, I'm not going to be bad anymore. And then I had to learn through, I just had to fail and learn and fail and learn. Not with that, I immediately never broke the law again, but I still struggled with all this other crap. Like, man, I couldn't pay my bills. I couldn't clean the house. I couldn't do anything. Like I couldn't do anything. So, I had to learn, and for me, it really came from, like, allowing myself to be really bad at things and crappy and doing these tiny little micro steps and celebrating every win, and they all added up to awesomeness, but I had to get addicted to the progress. I had to get addicted to the little tiny wins instead of like, I'm gonna be happy when I'm done. Focusing on, like, I'm gonna do this 100% and done, and then I can celebrate. That doesn't work because I can never stay focused long enough to get to the done. I'd give up after I'd start something and I just like give up. And then I have all these unfinished projects, which are like, you suck and you're terrible. I'm like, I know I'm terrible. I'm awful. But when I changed my brain to be like, look at this, my house looks like a tip and it's a freaking shit show and I'm a disaster. But look at this. I did this junk drawer. I got rid of one trash bag. I donated one box. And then I did that every freaking day. And what started happening was all day I was just celebrating amazingness. I'm like, guess what? I walked to the mailbox today and I had a shower and I decluttered and I saved $5. And who's the man? And maybe it went to my head slightly because now I legit think I'm amazing. You know what I mean? But I needed that in order to get addicted to the progress. And I go into people's homes and their houses like everywhere. And they're in my old mindset of like, I don't even know where to start. This will take years. I'll never get this done. I'm so overwhelmed. And then I'm like, okay, you ready? Find 5 things to go. And then they're like, oh God, I guess this broken marker could go. And I'm like, you're amazing. Put it in the bag. Celebrate, celebrate, celebrate. And then for the first time in their lives, they're celebrating crappy mediocrity. And it feels freaking good. It feels good. You got to fake it in the beginning. You got to fake it. But then you just keep like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And you don't even look at the end. You don't even focus on how much more you have to do. You get addicted to all the little baby steps. And then before you know it, you're actually amazing doing all these amazing things. And your house is clean and you're doing all this cool stuff. For sure. Yep. I have somebody right now. Jessica has a close friend who's very into her fantasy self projects, and her health and lifestyle choices won't allow her to reschedule those projects. She can't see it. What do you mean? Okay, is she like never finishing these fantasy projects? Is that what it is? Like she wants to do these things, but she can never actually do them because she doesn't actually have the time to do it? Because I do think that fantasy projects can also be an addiction. So what I mean by this is like we can't actually do the thing, so we just think about it and we plan it. We might even join the clubs, and it gives us that little bit of like, you're working to, you're a you're trying, you know what, it's like a little lie that we have to, like, we're gonna do it tomorrow. We buy the supplies to craft and then we never actually craft. We sign up for the gym but we never actually go to the gym. But so it's like, yeah, it's a lot easier to do that. Does that make sense? Than actually do the things, because she's not in the habit of celebrating the progress. She's celebrating the idea of it finished one day. That's the fantasy of she's like, someday I'm going to be this amazing person and that feels good in this moment, but that's fleeting because you don't actually live up to it. So then you feel like a piece of crap the next day. So then you like focus on another fantasy or dream again for that fantasy or buy more crap for that fantasy, but it isn't long lasting. So instead of doing that, if you're like, what small crappy thing can I do today? And how can I celebrate the actual doing, not the thinking about the doing or the planning the doing, but the actual doing? How can I celebrate the tiptoe steps? How can I make that feel like an addiction instead of the dreaming? And that is easy to do. And it literally is. You got to break big things down into tiny little baby steps and have like a little baby step plan. You're overthinking it. It's easier than you think. Yeah. When you're supposed to tidy or clean, you just organize. Why? It makes more mess too, piles everywhere. Yeah, taking everything out and putting them into piles isn't even organizing. It's just making one pile into 50 piles. I don't know why we do this. Why does our brain think we have to do this? This is so stupid. So you're not allowed to. Okay, listen. You are not allowed to make piles, period, ever again, period, period, period. If you want to sort, you have to sort into a container that's already in your space. So this is what I had to do. I went to the dollar store. I looked at my closet. I was like, okay, it has 4 shelves. I can put 2 baskets on each shelf. So I have room for 4 baskets. I went to the store. I got 4 baskets. I came back. I dumped all that crap off, not neatly. I dumped it off. I put the 4 baskets on. Or if you want to be smarter, you could just put the 4 baskets on the floor and then take the stuff out and sort them into baskets. But anyways, then I'm like, each basket needs a category. Look at your stuff and be like, do I have the most of? Bathroom products? Bathroom products is a category. First aid, that's a category. Then we sort into those containers. And when they're full, the rest of the stuff on the floor has to go. I mean, that's it. We don't pile. If we're going to sort, we sort into our space with predetermined categories and clear limits, which are the containers. It's the only way to do it. It's the only way. That way, when you're done, you don't have piles on the floor. It's in the space. And if you're like, oh, I have an extra basket here, but my bathroom products are overflowing. Okay, can you break the bathroom products up into hair and body? Now you have a basket for hair and a basket for body. And you're like, well, those are full too. Well, then you got too much hair and too much body stuff. Like, it's gonna have to go. Do the Dana slob comes clean. The container is the bad guy. Amy's a new member. Hello, Amy. Welcome, welcome. So my point is, don't sort. Ooh, what's the iced coffee recipe? You've seen me make it before with protein milk. Yeah, so I used to get like protein milk. I'd get like even protein shakes and use that. I even have like a protein flavored water. I am not consistent with it. But I try because this is the life lesson I have to learn right now. I drink probably 2,000 calories a day. Tisk, my friend. I got to learn that. So I'm all like, I don't know why I can't lose weight or I keep gaining weight. And I'm like, it's my 5th chai latte of the day. They're 400 calories each. Calm down, Cass. It's a bad life lesson. I drink my calories and I got to work on that. That'll be my next when we do life lessons. That'll be my next one. Can you get addicted to decluttering? All day, Maggie, all day. I was super addicted to decluttering. I took it too far. I know I did. But let me tell you what, still better than the alternative. Do you know why we can get addicted? Because it feels so good, because they can be little micro wins and we can see immediate benefits. Listen to me. People are addicted to exercise. I know this. People are addicted to exercise, but I could run on the treadmill for an hour and I get off and my butt looks the same. I'm just tired and sweaty. Like, I could be like, yay, me. But when you declutter, not only are you done and you're like, yay, me, but also you see results immediately. And guess what? Tomorrow, still seeing those results. Guess what? The next day, still result. It's long lasting, foreverness. So of course we're addicted to it. We're doing awesome things. We're feeling proud of ourselves. We're doing hard things, but we're doing them anyways. So we're like, we're so good at this. Our house looks better. Our house functions better. Everything's better. Of course we can get addicted to this. It's so easy to get addicted to it because it's amazing. Because it's amazing. It's the bestest thing in the whole freaking world. Stephanie, how can you overcome the OCD and push through the I don't know what to do with this keep or trash feeling? It's that overthinking perfectionist thought. So what's really helpful for people who are like that perfectionist mindset, and OCD is an actual medical condition, and I would 100% look into a therapy for that. But what my daughter actually struggled with this, and what we did was her therapist did exposure therapy. And so it's going to feel uncomfortable, but you do it anyways in a safe way. So coming up with clear rules that you decide upon ahead of time. So if you haven't used it in a year and you wouldn't buy it again and you don't like it, it's leaving, period. That can help you overcome the thoughts because you're leaning on logic. You're leaning on rules. You're leaning on structure instead of your brain having to constantly like be decision-y, thinking of decisions. You've already made the decision with your clear rules. Also, something that you can do is focusing on a number to turn off your brain. So you're looking for a certain number of things to go. I like 21 or 5 or whatever. You pick a number. Don't make it too big, but make it more than one. That can also help stop your brain from having those intrusive thoughts of all the blah, 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 because you are laser focused on, you're kind of shutting your brain off and just looking for a number of things to go. Super insanely helpful. If you have a question, if you put a little question mark before, like a bing, bing, it's super helpful for me because there's so many comments here. And I want to make sure, ooh, I like this one. Stephanie again. Is this a different? It's the same. Best advice to pack and move and declutter when you have a hard time getting rid of things at the same time. You got to just declutter first without sorting. You got to declutter first without, like, before you pack, don't declutter while you pack, because your brain is now thinking, what box should this go in? And what should I label this? And should it go with other things? And should I wrap it? And will it get broken? And where it's going to go in the new house? Nope. You're only filling bags and boxes to go. So that's it. You're not packing. You're just finding things to go. And in order to do this, you have to touch every single thing. You can't open a closet, look at a closet and be like, I got to find 5 things. All you're going to see is clothes. You're like, I wear clothes. I like clothes. I'm not getting rid of clothes. But if you take one thing out and take it and turn and be like, what about this shirt? Do I love it? Yeah, I do. Put it back. Next one. What about this shirt? Ooh, it doesn't even fit me. Oh, it goes. Come back. Take another one out. We have to take each item out of its environment in order to make a quick decision on it. And again, rules are super, super helpful, but we don't worry about anything else. How do we join? So Wonderland Designs, there's like a YouTube membership somehow. I don't know how to do it. I think it's like under my thing. You can join. It's like a secret club. We do have a special live coming up just for members, which is super exciting. Nobody else, just our private little members. But they also get sneak peeks behind the scenes and polls. And yeah, like I'm writing a book, so I'm going to put some of their the membership group, their quotes in the book and things that are coming up. So it's cool if you wanna be part of the Clutterbug Club. I don't know how you do it. Somehow. Oh, okay. Tiffany, husband is a bee. How do you help him get rid of stuff? You are a butterfly. So first of all, Tiffany, we don't worry about helping other people until all of our things are decluttered. Our own personal things are decluttered, because we can become really blind to our own stuff, and it's really easy to see other people's mess and it's really hard to see our own. But if you're like going to your husband and you got shit everywhere and you're like, you need to let go of some of your things, immediately not going to listen. Immediately not going to listen. You got to start first decluttering your stuff. And what happens is they'll be like, oh, her space looks good. They'll see that you're so proud of yourself for decluttering. And they're like, oh, she's feeling good about herself from decluttering. And then they're going to want a little of what you have. And then we do the yes-no method. So again, the yes-no method, you have your husband sit. You say, you don't got to do anything, baby. Put your feet up. Here's a beer. I don't know what they drink. Food, whatever. You relax. I'm going to hold up your crap and you're going to say if you want it or if it can go. When you start, they're going to say, yeah, I want that. And you say, okay. And you don't judge. You don't say, that's stupid. You should let it go. You say nothing. You don't judge. And you hold something else up and you hold something else up. Eventually, they're gonna be like, "Oh, yeah, that can go." And we praise, praise, praise. "Good job. You're amazing at this. You're actually so good." Okay, right to something else. And we don't sort the go. We don't talk about the go. We don't plan where the go is gonna go. We're moving on. What about this? Yes, stay. Okay, what about this? Go. Good job. What about this? Stay. Yeah. Okay. What about this? Go. You're so good. I'm so proud of you. That's the yes no method. And it is amazing. You can fly through and you're going to see it. People love the cookies. You tell them, good job. They love it. They want to come back for more. And you're teaching people how to celebrate the little wins. That's what it is. You're celebrating the little wins. Why not sort? So, what happens when we take a big pile and we sort it into little tiny piles is that now what do you do? Now we're like, well, I got to find containers for all these little things, but we don't even know if it fits in the closet. And we don't know, like, it becomes so overwhelming because you're trying to organize for your stuff and not your space. And what usually happens is now we just have to leave out the mess till we find the right containers for all these different sorted piles, which never happens. And we end up putting it all back into a giant pile and the cycle continues. Instead, where does the stuff in this pile go? We go to that space. Okay. Even if you don't have containers, there's 4 shelves. What is each shelf zoned for? Is this for bathroom products? Is this for towels? Is this for whatever? Then we sort into that zone. So we gather the things that go, we remove the things that aren't part of it, and we put it, and that's all we can keep is what fits in that zone. So it is sorting, but it's sorting into the space. We're sorting. If you want to sort into different containers, the containers have to, you like get the containers that fit where they're going to go. And then you sort into those. And you probably have to change categories. So you're like, well, here's all my pencils and here's all my pens and here's all my markers and here's all my highlighters, but I only have one bin. Okay. Then you have one bin for writing. And then within there, maybe you can wrap them in elastics and have them, but you only have one spot to put those things. So then you adapt the category so that your stuff fits your space. We organize for the space, not our stuff. And I know this is very hard. I'm not great at articulating this. But I think I have some YouTube videos showing what I mean by here. It is so important to do this. ChatGPT's blow my mind. Blow my mind. It is. So I have a video coming out, not next week. Oh, it is next week. I'm filming it tomorrow. I'm going to show you, I'm going to be out of a job. You can actually use chat, take a picture of your space and upload the picture and ask it to create a photo of this space organized. Make sure you say from the same angle. And you can even say, I'm a butterfly, I'm a bee, like it'll know and it'll create more open storage for you or closed storage for you. You can also take a picture of a messy space and say, I am so overwhelmed. I don't know where to start. Can you make a detailed decluttering plan for me step by step, what I should let go of first and blah, blah. And it'll do it for you. Like, honestly, I'm about to be out of a job because it's amazing. It's amazing. Lee, how do you get unfrozen? You started 3 projects over the last year, but now you can't decide which one to do, so you do nothing. How do you get restarted? Anytime, Lee, you have goals, you got to put it on paper. So here's what I'm going to suggest. This is what I do because I have so many dreams. I put it all on paper. I brain dump all the amazing things I want to do. And then I circle the ones that feel the most important. And then I circle 3 things. And then I'm like, which one is the most important? And I'm 1, 2, 3. And then I'm like, okay, these ones, they probably got to go because otherwise I don't have time for those. And not just the most important, like you should have to get them done. Which ones feel exciting to you? And when we can write down our goals and then we can prioritize and then we can really pick one. And then we think, okay, what's like a 5-minute thing I can do towards this? So I don't know what your projects are, but I guarantee there's you pick one and there's a 5-minute thing you can do towards that, it's going to feel way more doable than because right now we're thinking I got to finish that project. We can't focus on the ends goals because it's sometimes you might be motivated, but 99% of the time that's just overwhelming crap. You got to get addicted to the progress. You got to train your brain to feel addicted. Why do we feel ashamed of our clutter? I don't know. I don't yeah. This part kind of bothers me because I think people define clutter differently. I think people are ashamed of chaos because you feel chaotic in your brain. And we know on some level, like, it's making our lives worse. We can't find our things. We're always late. We're feeling frantic. We're feeling stressed. It takes forever to get out the door because we don't know where our keys are. And like, I think we feel ashamed because we know it's really holding us back in life. But what I will say is, like I just went to Jessica's home and I organized it and I put bookcases and I filled the bookcases. When I did Emily's, I got big bookcases and I filled it with all her favorite things because she's a bee. A lot of the comments were, oh, it's way too much stuff. It's so much clutter. Guess what? That's not clutter. It has a home. They love to look at it. It's a visual reminder. You can have a lot of stuff and see your stuff. It just has to have a home. It has to be in that home, and you can't have other stuff without homes. Like, I think that's a big difference, right? I think it's okay to have stuff and have your walls filled with stuff. Even behind me, like, this does not to me feel cluttered, but I always get the comments when I do a live, oh, you're supposed to be a decluttering expert. Why do you have so much stuff? I'm like, I'm not a minimalist. You can be organized and have stuff. It isn't about what it looks like. It's about how it functions. Does your home make your life easier or harder? Period. Can you find everything that you own in seconds? And can you put it away in seconds easily? Is it really easy to stay tidy? And tidy does not mean nothing. Tidy means everything is in its home. That's very different. How can a perfectionist be a slob? You feel you suffer from this. Yeah, it's a whole thing because the perfectionist mindset is like, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it right. And you have a real expectation of how it's supposed to be done. Like, let's say washing your floor, for example. Maybe your floor is sticky, but you got crap all over your floor and you haven't vacuumed first. And you really, if you're going to do it, you better friggin' move the furniture, right? And then you'd have to pick up everything off the floor first. So then you never mop. Where instead, what if you just like wet a rag and just wipe the spots you can see like in 5 seconds? Like, what if you don't worry about vacuuming first? What if you like stop caring so much and allow yourself to do a real shitty job, a crappy job? That's kind of the exposure therapy part that I'm talking about. It's allowing yourself to take these shortcuts and do things badly because that's how we make progress and we get addicted to the progress and we celebrate the little wins. Normally, perfectionists put such high expectations that doing anything from mopping the floor to putting away laundry is like an hour or more. That's redonkulous. Oh, I have new members. I love you. Hello, Stephanie. Thank you so much. And Maria and Laura. Oh my gosh, so many of you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is so exciting. Thank you so much. Okay. Oh, there's so many great questions. We got just a few minutes left. Oh, Andrea, Andy. Hi, Cass. Any advice for a house full of butterflies and ADHD people? The place is a mess, and you are too. Definitely step one is decluttering, because if visual organizers, you have to see things as a visual cue to remember. Except when you have excess, everything is everywhere. So now it's invisible. When everything is visual, nothing is visual. It just looks like mess. It's how you can lose your keys on a table, even though they're right in front of you. And with ADHD, we're very distracted. So if there's lots of signals to your brain, you're constantly overstimulated and really hard to focus. So the step one is a massive declutter. And remember, it means you have to make a decision on every item. So you just start on one shelf, one pile. Usually, the stuff that's out on surfaces is actually the stuff you use and like. Start in the hidden areas, like a closet or a cabinet. Pull some, no, we don't start with memories. We pull something out. You like it? Yep. Put it back. We're not organizing. We're not sorting. Is this a stay? Yes. Okay. Put it back. Pull something else. Is this a stay? Yes. Put it immediately back. Pull something else. Is this a go? Cool. This can go. This can go. We're going to organize when we've swept the whole house with a declutter. Then we can go back and start creating really easy systems, which honestly, for butterflies, looks a lot like clear or shallow or labeled baskets, exactly where you naturally put things down with big, big categories, making sure you also have categories for, I don't know where this goes right now, like the random stuff. It needs it, but not doom boxes. Again, a video I'm making tomorrow will I'm going to go over 4 or 5 categories, big macro categories that you can start with when it comes to organizing so that you don't end up with cluttered doom boxes. It's like a stepping stone between mess and organized. It's like a little boop, and then eventually you'd like boop a little more and boop a little more, but you can't go from mess to super organized overnight. So I'm going to help you in next week's video come up with a boops. Oh, hello. Thank you. Jessica. Okay, a couple more questions. You're frozen getting rid of decor that is sentimental that just got broken. It feels so wrong to throw it away, but if you fix it, you would probably just keep it. But you don't think you're going to fix it. Yeah. Okay. Can you take a picture of it? Here's the thing. I bet you it's sentimental because it has a story behind it. So I'm wondering if you can take a picture. And then I'm wondering also in your notes app if you can just write like a little bit of why it's special, like capture that memory. There's actually a really cool app, not sponsored or anything. It's called Artifact, but it doesn't have the second C, like artifact spelled wrong, not the second C, where you can take pictures and write the story, the meaning behind the thing so that you don't have to worry about forgetting about the memory. Does that make sense? Because I think this is what you're like, if that's gone, maybe I'll forget about the memory. And so capturing the memory, not just the picture, but the story behind it can help with your anxiety. And then it's way, 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 way easier to let it go. Oh, another new member. Thank you. Okay. Oh, another Joyce. Oh my gosh. Done. There's so many. You guys, thank you. Okay, I'm going to scroll. Holy crap, I didn't get to the bottom. I'm so sorry. This is a good one. Ooh, how to make yourself to tidy? You don't feel like doing it all the time. I feel you, babes. Listen, what I did in the beginning, I was in the habit of being messy. I was so overwhelmed. I felt like I was so busy. I'm like, it'll suck. Here's what I did. I made a non-negotiable rule. And that was I am not allowed to watch TV after dinner until I've tidied for 15 minutes. I called it my 15-minute bedtime routine. Then I pushed it to I can't go to bed without my 15-minute nighttime. Like I'm not allowed. And I set alarms and reminders. It doesn't matter if my butt's on fire and I'm sick and I'm puking in a toilet. It's a non-negotiable. I have to tidy for 15 minutes a day before bed, period. Non-negotiable. And my brain needed a hard rule like that. I needed to parent myself with some real tough love, but make it short enough that it's not like overwhelming. So maybe you start with 5 minutes and you have to set alarms and it's non-negotiable. You are not allowed to squeak out of this, my babes. Hello, thank you. You struggle with kids' crafts. How to save them? Oh, listen. Here's the thing. I'm gonna just ready for some. I've had a long day, so let's bring out some tough love. Your kids don't want all the crap they've ever made. You are burdening your children if you are going to one day show up their house when they're 30 years old and they have kids at their own, and you're going to bring trucks and trucks and trucks full of totes filled with macaroni necklaces. That is not doing them a favor. Instead, one memory bin per child. And right now, every craft they make, if you want, you can put it in the bin. But when the bin's full, you've got to regularly, before you put a new thing in, be like, okay, well, what's crappier than this? Because you're cultivating them a collection. You are making sure they're not burdened with clutter. You are going to gift them a bin of the best of their childhood memories. Do not burden them with the fact that you can't make a decision. You're the parent, they're the child. You won't let them eat chocolate cake for breakfast, right? You're not also going to make them keep everything they've ever made. You have to make a decision for them. And the best thing you can do is put a limit on yourself, one memory bin. It's like a Rubbermaid tote. Don't overthink it. It isn't something fancy. It's like a plastic container. And photos, trophies, report cards, crafts that they make, everything goes in there. And it's not, it's a discovery box. It's not organized, okay? It's a discovery box for them to have when they're older. This is the best gift you can give your children is less stuff and teaching them how important it is to let go. Because you don't want your children to be burdened with clutter when they're older. And you certainly don't want them to be burdened with your clutter that you weren't strong enough to make a decision on. So you're making them deal with it later. That's a no. What's a good size for a memory box? Like a 77 gallon? I don't know, like a tote. As big as you want. But store it somewhere that's easily to access. If you're like, I don't have a lot of closets, I have no place to put this memory bin, under the bed rollouts are perfect because your memory bin should be somewhere that when your kids come home with something, you can immediately put it there, that it's close enough that it doesn't become clutter on your counter till someday you take it to the memory bin because the memory bin's somewhere in the attic or the basement. That's not helpful. A memory box has to be accessible. So do you have space somewhere in your home that's accessible for a bin to go? And under the bed rollout is a very good, because we always have crap under our bed we don't need. Under our bed is a void of crapness. So it's perfect for a memory center because we can pull it out, we can easily access it, but it's not taking up our living space in our closets. So that's what I would recommend. Under the bed, they have them at Walmart. They're under $20. They have a lid so dust won't get inside. You can pull them out, put memories in it, put it back. Every family member gets one, or you and your spouse can share one if you guys don't have a lot of stuff from your childhood, but you still need one too. Under your bed is dusty socks. Well, now it can be your memory center. Okay. Last question, and then I got to go. I could talk all day to you. What if you use the yes, no method and the person you're asking gets stuck with maybe? Well, maybe is a keep. Maybe is a keep. Or if they're really a lot of anxiety, I hate this so much, but you could do like a time capsule or a time will tell or a pack up method kind of thing. It's all the same words. That basically means a box with an expiration date. So you're packing it into the box, you're writing everything that goes in it on the outside of the box. Then you're putting a date on it. If I don't need anything from this box by December 31st, 2025, the whole box can go. And that way you have a little bit of peace of mind. Does this make sense? Like it isn't completely gone, but you've got to follow through and actually declutter the box in 6 months. You're not just going to get a storage locker and start stuff shuffling your crap. That's just kicking the can. That's just making life harder for yourself tomorrow. So I don't love the pack up method for that reason, because this is what a lot of people do. You're just delaying the decision. But in cases of extreme anxiety, this can be done. For things that you're just not totally sure, you have that peace of mind, but you must follow through and declutter when the time is up. Okay, my chat GTP video is coming out. It's only one part. I'm going to show you some of the things. That's coming out next week. I think, nope, not next week, the week after. Next week is cleaning shortcuts. The week after that is organizing home hacks, where I'm going to show you how to use Chat GTP to come up with a decluttering and organizing plan for your home. So that's all. Okay. I love you guys. I love spending time with you. I hope you're feeling inspired to do something cool and small today. Write down your goal, book that freaking mammogram or the camera in the booty hole, and train your brain to celebrate the little tiny micro wins. So, what's something that you want to do? If it's declutter your home, can you declutter for 5 minutes right now and just find 5 things to go? And then be proud of yourself for that. Celebrate that. Start a notebook and be like, I decluttered for 5 minutes on blah, 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 and check. And give yourself a star and a pat on the back, and then do it again tomorrow. Train yourself to be really excited about the journey and the progress and the little baby tiptoe wins. That's how you, without even realizing it, continually just do it. And you get better at it and faster, and you build your muscles, but also you just like feel so good about yourself. Not only are you achieving amazing things, but every single day you're happier, and you're just like really freaking proud of yourself. Thank you, Amber. You're just really, really proud of yourself. Okay, I gotta go so you guys can go do cool things. Love you. And I'll see you guys next time.